Well, lads, how's all doing, and welcome back to the Boosh channel. I know, listen, we're back here again. This is now the 4th video in 2 weeks. I know, listen, I'm getting actually much better, you know, whenever it comes to making these Boosh videos, and you all seem to be enjoying them, you know, going based off of the likes and the views and the comments, so, you know, thank you for that. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, new topic, new day. We're getting a little less depressing, right? Thank God, right? I mean, like, nobody really wants to stick around with the depressing stuff. And also, newsflash, I don't really have much depressing stuff to be talking about anyways. A lot of the stuff I like talking about these days is just stuff like, you know, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. This is my plan for doing this. This is my plan for doing that. And this video kind of follows that very similar pattern of, you know, stuff I would want, or if I was a successful guy. And, you know, I mean, listen, this video here is about if I was rich. Every single person, you know, watching this video, or in general, if not in the entire world, have a dream, right? Or not even just that. Every single person wants to be rich. If you don't want to be rich, what the fuck are you doing, right? I think you're just lying to yourself, right? Everybody wants to be rich because in a lot of people's eyes, rich and having all this money is a sign of freedom, right? And that's unfortunately just how it is. But you know, listen, I have a lot of plans. If I had all this money in the entire world, if I had every single bit of penny in the entire world, or had, you know, just a little bit of, you know, slice of cash in the entire world, you know, that kept me going, I have a bunch of things that I want to buy with it, or do, you know. So listen, we all have dreams of making it big one day and having all this money, right? And I have my own, of course, as well. But I've actually kind of, you know, this entire video that I've done so far, I've kind of written down all the stuff that I would want to do if I, you know, if I was rich. Hopefully that happens in this, you know, in this lifetime, because, you know, I think it'd be, yeah, quite fun. But anyways, yeah, so the first thing, right, if I was a millionaire and I was really successful and I was rich, first thing I would do with my money, I would pay off my mom and dad's mortgage, right? Because, I mean, listen, it's not fair, the fact that they kind of got fucked, you know, during the recession, all that kind of shit. I'm not going to go into details, but they kind of got fucked during that. And, you know, with the childhood they given me, they made me into the person I am today. And, you know, I love parents. I think they're very good, you know, even if they're cheeky to me sometimes, I'm cheeky to them. But at the end of the day, they are my parents. And a lot of stuff that they sacrifice, you know, to do for me and my brothers. And you know, I really appreciate that. And I don't think they can really live fully comfortably knowing the fact that they've got all this stuff they still got to pay off, you know. I mean, the recession fucked everyone over, you know, in Ireland. That was in, I don't know, it was like early 2000s, sometime like that. And every single person didn't have that much money. Kind of fucked everyone over. And unfortunately, my parents were kind of a victim to that as well. But so was everybody in the country. So that's probably like the first thing I would do. Pay off their debts, right? Pay off the stuff like that. Get them, you know, get them a car. Or, you know, buy them a new house if they want, right? And, or buy them a holiday, because they're right. They really like Florida, you know. So if you're watching this from Florida, you've got my parents' interest in that fucking state. But yeah, so they, of course, you know, they probably have a house over there as well. So, you know, if I had an infinite amount of money, I would buy them a house, buy them a nice car, you know, pay off all their debts, and just, you know, let them live the rest of their life. You know, I think that'd be my #1 priority if I had loads of money. On to the more selfish stuff. I'd buy myself a nice house. Now, of course, that's everybody's, you know, like, that's the basic shit, right? You want a nice house, you want a nice car. For any of the car heads who are out there thinking, what car would he buy? If Oisin had so much money in the entire world, right? Or if Boosh had all this money in the entire world, what car would Boosh buy? And for any of you that are wondering, ladies and gentlemen, the Ferrari 458 Liberty Walk. It's a sexy car for a sexy man like myself. I would buy that shit instantly if I had that much money. It is a sexy, sexy car. Now, some of you might be dissing the Liberty Walk in it, so go fuck yourself. That's just my taste. But, you know, if you've got your own taste, comment it down below. I won't really, you know, I mean, I might look at it and think, that's good, or ew, you know. I'll let you know. But yeah, so that's obviously one of my other thoughts. But before I would buy that nice car, you know what I'd do, right? I would make sure that I'm financially stable, right? I'd be investing in fucking stocks and shit, man. I'm making sure that my children can go to college, and I'm going to make sure that my kids can have this, that, and the other, you know, they can live a life. I'm not going to spoil my kids to death, though. Even if I was rich, I'm not going to spoil my kids to death. I feel like if you spoil them, they're going to end up little spoiled shitheads. And, you know, that's not really something I want to do. But, you know, I would definitely secure financial stability, you know, for generations to come, and that's kind of what I would do there, you know, with the stocks. So there is that. Other stuff that I want to do, and this kind of stuff here that I'm about to mention, it isn't for the money, right? A lot of it isn't for the money. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying like I'm some humble guy going, it's not for the money, guys, come on. Of course it's for the fucking money as well, right? The money's a nice bonus, right? But money's not the whole reason for it. It's just something that I want to do because I'll find it interesting. It's something that I'll find entertaining, or, you know, it's just something that I would like to do. So the first thing, and this has kind of always been a big dream of mine, you know, well, besides the whole YouTube stuff, and this is kind of something that I'm growing currently as we speak. I grew up watching a lot of stuff like Smosh, Brandon Rogers, you know, and just shit like TV shows and shit like that, right? I would, like, I'm currently, like, for some of you that clearly already know, but some of you that don't know, I've obviously started up a media production, so, you know, I'm kind of slowly trying to get to that stage of, you know, making short films and, you know, shows and stuff like that. But that's kind of like one thing I want to do. So I would, of course, buy that kind of stuff and, you know, get a team with me, and, you know, we can make some shows, right? So that's kind of one thing. I want to fund my production and do short films and shows and skits and all that kind of stuff. You know, just bring entertainment to the viewers, because this one thing that I've always strived for, and it's the fact that I really want to supply some kind of entertainment, right? The money is a bonus, but if people view my shit as creative, funny, or, you know, any of the above, that's all I give a shit about, right? I really like the creation of content. I really like the creation of content. I also like the thought of making a show and all that kind of stuff, because it's just like the high quality of it. You know, I like all that kind of stuff. I think the process and the outcome, I think I really, really like. And I know for like a lot of people who went to like college and stuff like that, who did media production, who just watch movies and stuff, the output they love, but the you know the process of making it, not so much. But yeah, so I like that, so that's what I'll probably do there. Second thing, this is one thing I might have mentioned maybe once, but it's not very well known here on the Boosh channel or any channel. I would start a talent agency, right? Not for fucking strip teasing and taking out your big balls and putting them on a desk and spinning them around like a helicopter in the desk. No, not that kind of talent, right? I'm referring to, like, you know, taking on content creators and stuff like that, right? Not, again, it's not because of the fact that I want to milk them fucking dry. That's a second plan. That's the second choice, right? That is the nice thing that comes out of me doing it, right? The main thing, right, is because I have a lot of aspiration from a lot of other YouTubers, right? I have a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot of, you know, things. I goes back to making content. I really like making content, and I really like other people who are also aspiring to be content creators, right? I would take on people who are aspiring to be content creators. I'd want to help them. I'd want to get them, you know, I want to get them somewhere, you know, with the little knowledge that I have, you know, of doing YouTube and stuff like that, right? But yeah, I would love to help people like that, help them get editors, help them get sponsors, help them get this, that, and the other, right? So that's one thing I definitely want to try and do at some point within my life. So there is that, you know, just help them get started, and just, I find the journey of that to be fun. But yeah, we'll see what we get onto. Other shit, and this is the thing that will literally make me no money, but it's just something I would find, you know, enjoying anyways. And this is the very last thing, right? I would probably do, like, you know, just a clothing business and shit like that. Not, listen, before you get up in your high horse and say, oh, that's fucking terrible. That fucking thing there will make you no money. It's gonna be terrible. I know! I fucking know! You don't have to tell me! I know! It's gonna make no money, right? But the only reason I would want to do it is only because it benefits me, only because I like to make stuff, right? Because, I mean, I've access to make stuff anyways, but I would just like to give out design, you know, sell the clothes to people who want to also have that kind of clothes. Now, I'm not Kai Cenat here with this fucking Vivid brand, right? Let's get fucking real. All I would literally sell is t-shirts with a nice design, and like a nice front and back design, jumpers, nice front and back design. I would have them at 460 GSM, 480 GSM, whatever fucking GSM. GSM's like the sort of the amount of cloth that's put into the jumper. I'd have, you know, I'd have heavy stuff. Same with the t-shirts. I'd also probably sell maybe on that site, you know, other funny shit, or, you know, actual nicer looking stuff. I would like to base a lot of the clothing off of, well, like series based stuff, or like, you know, stuff that I brand myself in videos or in other things, you know. But I wouldn't make it stupid. I wouldn't make it look like merchandise. I wouldn't put my fucking panda, like my panda's face on a goddamn t-shirt and try and sell you that shit like it's some 2014 YouTuber merchandise. No, I wouldn't. I would incorporate the panda into the design somehow, right? Somehow, but not make it terribly obvious. I'd just make a nice design. But listen, all these are aspirations. All these are things I really want to do within my life. And, you know, all of them are, you know, it could happen. It could happen. But I'm going to try and make it happen, okay? And that's, you know, that's just one thing. I want to make it happen. Hopefully it happens. Again, I'm going to try my best. If not, fuck. Yeah. But listen, tell me all, you know, listen, tell me this, right? And I want you to comment this down in the comment section. If you have things that you'd buy, or the first thing that you'd buy whenever you're rich, tell me, right? Let me know. What would you buy if you were a quintillionaire, right? If you could buy fucking anything in the whole world, what would you buy? But listen, my name is Bosh. I'm going to make a video again on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Irish Standard Time in UK. I'm going to be back there again. But until then, my name is Boosh, and thank you very much, and